the government's interventions has made and continue to make on the lives of our people. Dr. Wolokolie, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Saba. And good morning to the rest of the management of ELBC. And I greet across the length and breadth of the country our partisans, members of the Coalition for Democratic Change. I'm talking about citizens and citizens. I also like to appreciate Comrade Avin Witse for allowing him to accept my request to sit by me.
Yeah, request was abrupt,
on this show. He's a militant, and militant are unique characters, and I'm inspired by his presence right by my side. Avin, thank you.
Okay, so let me also invite again for the second time. Avin, welcome.
Well, thank you, Sobo.
Please press your button there. Okay.
Well, I thank you, Sobo. When you have an opportunity to sit side by side with a most seasoned comrade and a veteran, people who have inspired our upbringing in revolutionary politics in this country, it becomes a privilege and not a right. So I'd like to say thanks to Dr. Samora Wolokolie, a revolutionary big brother in the struggle, who have demonstrated his teachings and his continuing to do so in defense of the Popular People Liberation Movement, and giving him an opportunity to share a platform with me is something that I appreciate.
Okay. And so let's begin on this note, Mr. Minister, looking at the goal of the PAPD and poverty. Let's cue it from the point of the economy. I know we had an economy that was highly dependent on oil spending, in another word, and part of your intervention was to rebase the economy. Mr. Minister, you from the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, do you care to just bring us up to speed as to how much interventions did this government put into the rebasing of our economy?
Thank you, sir. We started a very interesting conversation the last time I was here. We gave you a backdrop about where we came from. Where did we meet the Liberian economy? And the whole debate was put to rest, and it was understood that we met a broken economy, a broke economy. And we explained all of those circumstances. A question now becomes, where are we? How did we manage? And you will know very well, and you agree with me very well, that as much as we consider that we met a broke economy, there has been tremendous improvements in the economic viability of our republic. The president's last State of the Nation address was very categoric when he mentioned and said very clearly that the state of the economy is strong, it is firm, and it is based on fertile grounds of developmental macroeconomic stability, as a matter of fact. So, today, we have made a number of interventions within the Liberian economy. Today, we've been able to have an appreciable understanding, an appreciable stability in our exchange rate. We have been able to make sure that inflation dropped from a double digit to a single digit, from 30%, whooping more than 30%, now coming down to around 7% of the economy. Economic growth has been projected to hit around 3 to 4% and counting. Of course, from a growth rate of negative, we were at -3 in the economy, especially following the drop of the Ebola situation in the country. As a matter of fact, now we are around 3% in terms of economic growth.
Now, Mr. Minister, let me just hold you there briefly. When you talk about we are around 3%, or we managed to improve the economy is now strong. Our people, maybe deep into, let's assume where I come from, ground crew, maybe the man mirror or Mary Brown there may not really understand what you mean. How can you explain this so that people understand that yes, indeed, we are at 3%, the economy is now strong? What do you mean?
So for you to have an effect of macroeconomic stability, the macroeconomic fundamentals must be dealt with. And I'll be very simple about
Surely.
that. You cannot have a trickle-down effect of economic growth when the borderlines or the foundation for a firm macroeconomic stability has not been actualized. What we were doing, what we have been involved with, is to ensure that we have a very strong macroeconomic fundamental in terms of foundation to ensure that foundation is cracked, bringing down inflation, ensuring that employees of government have access to the disposable income, their salaries on time, no matter what that amount of the salary had been, regularizing the whole concept of the government's payroll, as a matter of fact, and ensuring that the people have value for their money in the effect thereof. So a number of serious macroeconomic interventions have been the hallmark of our activities as far as the economy has been concerned. We have taken our time to ensure that the government, even in terms of the exchange rates, I tell you something. There were times in this country, I remember, there was almost inavailability of cash in the banks. This was because it was attributed to alleged hoarding. When we say hoarding in economic terms, it means that business people take money,
We're holding the money.
keep the money, put them in safes at private homes, and as a matter of fact, these monies are not circulated in the economy. And this places a serious burden on the local currency, and foreign exchange skyrocket. It goes high. Exchange rate goes high. One of the major interventions we did in that regard, we introduced what we refer to as digital inclusion.
Digital inclusion.
Digital inclusion.
What is that?
That is making use of digital money, mobile money. You see now in the country, we digitize the economy. More of our people now are using mobile money. We promoted the use of mobile money. We promoted the use of using bank transfers. Most of the banks around now in the country have apps that you can transfer money from your phone, from your account. As a matter of fact, if you have a bank account to your mobile money account, you can now move ahead and do mobile communication, mobile money. So we say this is a moving towards the world of digital economy, where people are prone not to use a lot of cash in the economy, making the economy almost cashless. This was a major step in ensuring that funds now become available. You can go to the supermarket now and buy commodities out of the supermarket using mobile money, where you necessarily do not have to physically take cash and give to the vendor.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, this became widely promoted during the COVID time. You remember during the COVID time, there was preventions of people shaking hands. As a matter of fact, monies, just by using the paper money,
You could contract
you could
COVID.
contract COVID. So there became a widely used digital money in the economy, and people are getting very used to it. People now, the government of Liberia now, you have an option to place the money into your bank account or place the money into your mobile money account. I take some cash in my mobile money account, and I use my mobile money account to transfer money if I have to pay for services that I need to do. Even domestic workers at home receive money through mobile money. So this is a major, it sounds very simple. It sounds as though it's unimpactful, but this is a major step that impacts the visibility of money, physical cash in the economy. Most times, people don't necessarily need to transact with cash. People have even put confidence in the credibility of the mobile money age, and mobile money makes millions of dollars in the economy. If you look at the rates of the transfers of mobile money from banks to banks or from banks to mobile wallet, it is a huge transfer, and this is accounting for the rise in domestic revenue in our economy. So the whole concept of everything that we do, any major policy reform in our country, affects a whole wide range of things. I just gave you an example of the digital money. I gave you the connect. The digital money is going to make the economy cashless. It's going to make transaction more favorable for individuals and businesses. It is going to ensure that the government, through the Liberian Revenue Authority, have access, because these mobile money agents pay fees. And as a matter of fact, there are taxes calculated on those fees. This is accounting for a huge drive in our domestic revenue.
Do we know the exact draft you make reference to?
Sorry?
Do we know the exact maybe income would that bring for the government?
Well, I wouldn't be able to categorically mention that.
Okay.
But in terms of the impact, I'm basically stating the impact of what that will do. Not only that is creating, but it's creating jobs. So you see, there has been an establishment, and a lot of things are happening in this country. There has been, and it's happened through the ingenuity of those who manage the financial management of the republic. As a matter of fact, you realize that there has been a number of businesses open. The only role is to do mobile money transfer and to collect mobile money when somebody sends you money to go and catch your mobile money. Many of you around here will agree with me that if somebody sends you money, you go to the mobile money agent. I don't know how to do it because I haven't been there before. What I do when I receive mobile money, I transfer that mobile money to somebody else. I don't need to necessarily hold a cash, because our objective is to ensure that we make the economy almost cashless. That influence of making the economy almost cashless has got an effect on inflation. It has an effect on disposable income. It has an effect on purchasing power. It has an effect in, as a matter of fact, raising domestic revenue for our economy. And you see, there is a physical, empirical evidence of the growth of domestic revenue as far as the republic is concerned.
Now, so
these are all the drivers.
Now, so let me ask you now. You indicated about the strength of the economy. You talk about how the economy is strong, how the economy has been digitized, and all of that. Now, this government, which in which we serve, is the government comfortable now with the status of the economy we have, or do you intend to go further than that?
So what is happening here right now? We were dealing with all of the reforms. I want to state categorically here and now that it is a continuous process. We will introduce this reform today. This may not be effective at the moment as we're dealing with them. We will tweak the reforms to meet the objective realities of the current day situation, and we will ensure that the reforms has a trickle-down effect on the masses of our people. And this is where we are going. I hear people say, okay, you come here every day, you make all the noise. There's 7 macroeconomic stability. Exchange rates have been stabilized. Inflation has dropped from 30% to 7%.
The economy is strong.
But what does Man Water have to say about the strength of the economy in the household? And this is the real conversation.
Mm-hmm.
The real conversation is, how do we translate that effective growth rate of 4% to your home, Sobo, where your children, the masses of your children, will not go to bed hungry. And I can say to you that this government will be the first to admit that in the midst of all these daunting challenges, all of the improvements that have got to talk about the improvement of macroeconomic stability, there has got to be a lot done in making sure that the trickle-down effect of all of these good gains that we talk about has an effect on the.
There has to be a lot done. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
There has to be a lot more done so that the gentleman who sits in Nuku Town, who is not employed, be it a permanent employment or be it a temporary skilled employment, that gives him resources that is able to allow his disposable income, his salary or remuneration he gets from doing any piece of job to feed his family at home, to take his children to school. These are the bread and butter issue that need to trickle down in the effect of the macroeconomic stability that we talk about in the broad base. But these could not have happened if we have not strengthened macroeconomic stability across the country.
So when you talk about we still need to do a lot more so that the trickle-down effect can be felt by the people in the household, when are we looking out for? Is it when after maybe on second, 6-year term, or where are we?
We've started doing this already, Sobo. And I can tell you this. This is going to be a situation where these effects are going to gradually get granular, will go down to the bottom of the mass of the people. I'll give you an example. We're now doing the construction of RIA Road. There is a contractor on the road. That contractor is subcontracting a number of other people to do the work. There is an ordinary man on that road whose job is just to take the crush rack and move it from one spot to the other. He's paid on a daily basis. That man is able to leave from that particular website every day and at least provide some food for his family. That man is able, because of the kind of work he does, he's able to have an education, maybe from a vocational skill training program. Yesterday, I served as the keynote speaker representing the President of the Republic of Liberia at the Munantech Vocational School, a vocational school that is owned and operated by the Congress for Democratic Change. The CDC is the only political party in this country that has a vocational school. No other political party has that. And yesterday was a mark of 1 year of operation of that school. And that school put up 1,200 graduates in different areas: tailoring, electricity, mechanics, you need that. I will not remember all. And I serve as the chairman of the board of that vocational school. The school is free. We have a situation where students come to that campus. They come to school free. They are offered skilled training. Now, these people, 1,000 people have, 2,200 people have graduated. They need to work. They are now trooping into the society. Some of them are going to work on construction sites. Some of them are going to be a part of the road constructions in the country. Some of them are going to. So, TVET education is a major strive that boosts economic growth, that strengthens macroeconomic stability. When I talk about more needs to be done, this is a step. The idea of this vocational school, for example, came and grew about 5 years ago. We work on the different plans. We collected resources. As a matter of fact, we built the school from foundation. The school is owned, the building is owned by the party. The school is built, and then we started to put in mechanism, try to recruit some of the best instructors around in the country at that vocational school. They are there, and they are funded by partisans of the party. Partisans of the party are the ones funding the school. The school,
how are they doing so?
They're putting their resources together.
paying dues,
putting the resources together, making contributions. The other day, Senator Sir Joseph donated buses to the school. The other day, Honorable Thomas P. Fowler sent some money for payments of the instructors. We are all out there having conversations with a number of people because it is attached to the political party. Maybe other people may not want to see it as something that needs to be contributed to. We need people to look at the bigger picture, a picture that looks at a situation where you are educating and transforming and molding the minds of people who have ordinarily been idle in the community, involving himself in unorthodox attitude. They are now being rehabilitated through vocational skill training programs. Our people are comfortable. When I sat in the hall yesterday, I became withered. I felt a spirit of serious excitement, and I realized that it is important that we put more time into that particular program. Do you imagine? School that you pay your fees to, you acquire vocational skill training, you are able to leave from there and do a piece of job, a skilled labor job that allows you to have some money in your pocket to take care of your family and friends at home. What else can be more unprecedented than that? So these are some of the steps. When you do that, you empower that particular individual. He or she is able to open his tailor shop. He or she is able to open his mechanical workshop, or they can partner as conglomerates and start businesses and be subcontracted and make money and resources in the country.
Now, as part of your reform, Mr. Minister, I'll be coming to you very shortly, but as part of your reform, Mr. Minister, I know the government alone cannot do it. You need a private sector as well. Were you able to put in place any sort of interventions in ensuring that you partner with the private sector well to also strengthen the economy?
Sure. We have a strong business partnership arrangement with the partner. We talked to the Liberia Business Association. We talked to the Liberia Chambers of Commerce, and we have a number of good work relationship with these different serious-minded individuals, as a matter of fact. So there is an opportunity. The government of Liberia has provided macroloans to small business people. The president made that pronouncement. These are being implemented as a matter of fact. This is another announcement of some of the steps that should be taken so that man matter or man water so don't forget now, we finished with at least we've stabilized the macroeconomic stability of the country. We have a foundation that we have to hold very tightly, and we're moving now into the trenches of the communities. We're moving now in picking highlights projects that will have direct impact on the lives of the people. If you brought in macro loan today, you are empowering that market woman to open her market. She is paying taxes to the government of Liberia. She has gone to register her business at the Liberia Business Registry, and government is receiving income as it relates to that. That investment has a return. The return on that investment is the ability for that market woman to announce success in her own market environment. The source and the source of funding of that market, the principal amount, once she's able to pay back the macro loan, that amount becomes almost like a revolving fund, and that fund is used for another macro loan somewhere else. And as it grows gradually, you will have then realized that over the particular period of time, you have catered to more than 5,000 market people in the country. That is what we refer to as people. Our government is people. We are looking at trying to impact the lives of the people. Somebody will say, well, you're talking all of these things. There are still some people who have not had the impact of this. Yes, it's true. We are penetrating the society and moving to the mass base of our people, and we are doing intervention intermittently and as the resources can provide us the opportunity to.
Now let's look at the area of an investment, Mr. Minister. I know your government continues, to come under this sort of, public criticism that not much you've done, in the area of investment. Not many investors we do have in the country. How do you react to that?
That information is not true. And the last time we made these pronouncements very clear. And I will do that here again today. So, we have made serious impact on investment in the country. I'll give you an example. Before 2018, we only had one cement factory in this country. That was Simeco, under the leadership of President George Manuel Weah of the CDC.
Okay.
We have attracted 3 additional cement factories in the country. One of them is Star Cement. The other is Futa Cement. The third one is called Capital Link. Futa and Star Cement, they are located right here in Monrovia. There's another cement company called Power Cement. It is located in Grand Bassa County. It's right near the Port of Ghana. That's something you can go and verify. We have attracted a number of investments in the country. And we've got to put it into perspective. Today, we have the first rubber factory under construction in the country. The chatty stuff, you know about that. It's physical, it's verifiable, it's something that you can see with empirical evidence.
That's the first ever.
First ever in the country. Today, you have the first medicine and pharmaceutical manufacturing factory that has been built, and that manufacturing company was commissioned in 2022. Today, we have the first commercial portrait that is built and operationalized in Bonny County.
Okay.
And I will go on and on. To say that we have had no investment in this country, it is nothing but trying to undermine and misrepresent the facts. I'll give you an example. We have Nima Rubber Incorporated. Nima Rubber Incorporated has an investment tenure of 30 years. Nima Rubber was signed in 2019. Nima Rubber is located in Nima County. And Nima Rubber, the size of that investment is $9.8 million. That investment is producing over 300 jobs. That signing was ratified by the national legislature. Are we there? I will give you another one. Fiscal. Golden Fiscal. So Golden Fiscal has a tenure of 28 years. It was signed and ratified by the national legislature in 2019. It is located in Maryland County, and that investment has 34 million. That's the size of that investment. That size of that investment is creating 110 jobs. It was ratified by the national legislature. And I can go on and on and on. Like Mano Palm Boy, Hummingbird Resources, Biochico, Medtech Scientific Limited, Tracom, Futa Corporation, Star Smith, Capital Link Corporation. These are all investments that has been done under the leadership of President George Manuel Weah. Right? Now, somebody argues that Fiscal was here. That's true. But if an investment,
President Weah came.
If an investment sits in the country today, and the investment starts and have an investment size of $2 or $10 million, and the investment operator in the country, say 5 years or 7 years, and later that investment size grew from 10 million to say 100 million, and somebody tells me that that is not a new investment, you got to be kidding. It is a new investment, and we'll take ownership of that because it happened on our regime. We created the broad-based macroeconomic stability space. We created the national security for that investment to be resident and operative under our regime. We will take ownership of that. I hear people crying and making all kinds of comments that these things were here before. Yeah, they came. But what was the size of that investment when they came before? What condition precipitated that investment size to rise over 300%? Isn't it the conditions that we created as a responsible government in the country?
Now, when you were
take credit for it, no, we will take the credits.
okay, now when you are listing other investments that are in the country, you attach the number of people they've employed so far. But I didn't hear you talking about the number of individuals employed, especially about those cement factories you're making reference to.
Well, I did. I was saying the whole list. I gave you Star Smith, for instance, right? Star Smith has a 15-year tenure, right? We were starting in 2019. 2019, who was president? Wasn't it President George Bush and the president in 2019? As a matter of fact, Star Smith is located in Monserrado County. The investment size of Star Smith is $41 million. And that company has produced 400 jobs for people. It was ratified. Now, don't get me wrong. When we say the number of jobs that have been created, it doesn't mean that if you went to Star Smith today, you see the 400 people who are already employed. It is possible. Some people may have died. They may have been rehired. And that 400 number could even go up or come down. But we are telling you as at the statistics of our with the last time we came to tell you, we are not giving you statistics of the jobs that have been created, but we are convinced that jobs have been created just by the activities that has happened around us. So we know. So what we do right now, we are coming to you now with clear statistics of the amount of jobs that have been created in the country. And this is what we are providing to you. There's a whole list of that. If you want to give me the chance to do that, I can read it, or I can send the list to you.
Yes, you can send the list to me, so
and you can independently verify this list.
Okay.
That's something you can go.
That list are not manufactured.
No, you're not. We will not come here to do that. We have a credibility at stake that we do not take these chances.
Okay.
We will not come here today and tell you, Sober, we build the road from Tupo Road Junction that is coming down to ELBC Junction. How can we lie about that? When you go there, you see that the road is not there. How you look at us? So we'll tell you that we did that. That's so that you can go and look. I drove on that road this morning. Very beautiful. I'm sure you have done the same. So we'll tell you that roads have been constructed here. We have mounted an LEC transformer here. When you go there, you see it.
You see it, okay.
Our development agenda as physical as pregnancy. You know pregnancy. It can come in from you see it. Physical. There's nothing to lie about. You can fact check these pieces of information we are providing. We have to allow the masses of our people to understand. They need to know that these things are happening.
Okay.
Too many developmental initiatives have happened across the country, and people are around playing deaf and blind eye to this serious monumental steps that has happened under this visionary leader of ours. We cannot take it for granted. We have to mention it. Beginning the time we came here to give you a picture of the Liberian economy and where we took it from, we will continue to use the number of days remaining for the campaign period to mention these things and give evidence that support them.
Okay.
We will ask you to call the opposition, take them with you on the tour to verify the claims that we're making here. If we are lying, come back on the radio and expose us.
Okay. So you're listening to the Super Money Show, rated on the ELBC 99.9 and also frequencies across Liberia. This show is also being carried on other platforms, online platforms, the Mekat Live, KMTV, Spoon Live, and also online institutions as well. Let me, we have as guest Dr. Anthony Aloro, also, and Deputy Minister Samora Wolokolie, Deputy Minister at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. He asked his partisan as well, Alvin Weeks, to also join him. So, Alvin, let me ask you, relative to youth development under this administration, how much interventions, the young people, I'm asking because you fall in that category, how many of the young people this government has really taken from the conditions that they were and finally to they find themselves in school and being their lives being improved?
Well, thank you. Let me appreciate veteran Pizza's Samora Wolokolie. I saw you someone trying to nod your heads because there was a titanic list of achievements that the Samora tried to catalog and tell you the enormous contribution intervention President Lee has been able to make, with particular allusion or reference to the economy. And he was clear on that you cannot have a vibrant economic infrastructure precisely the edifice of the economy if there's no solid economic foundation. And structurally, he laid out it very well. So you asked a question about
Youth development.
Youth development. He knew very well that President Weah Proper for Prosperity and Development is centralized on the youth development approach, power to the people. And power to the people cannot be in the absence of providing opportunities for the masses of our people, particularly young people. In revolution, it says that when any revolution that does not provide opportunities for the masses of the people is a devil's gift. This government has been able to redirect its development opportunities to giving it as a first preference, a priority to the young people in our country. So I look at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, for example. There's a program under the Ministry of Youth and Sport that Samora talked about, the TVEC program. That program has been a very powerful instrument to mobilizing the potential of young people in terms of how they can get different trainings and skills, vocational education to build their productive capacity so that they can be able to form part of the labor market. But also, what President Lee has been able to do for the young people is youth employment is not only physical, it's mental. So we look at education, for example, talking about college education. First of all, empowerment starts from building the capacity and the minds of the generation. If you want to have the next engineers, medical doctors, the next civil judge, agriculturists, the next chemists and botanists, people that were supposed to make the economy work. If you don't provide the valuable educational platform for them to build their capacities and provide fundamental orientation for how they see society in terms of contributing towards societal growth, then it's a problem. So President, we have understood that very well. So all over the country, for example, we said let's have free education being declared free, and not only that, let's also create an opportunity for young people in the private sector. How do we create opportunities that you say in the private sector? Don't you see at these very areas building the roads? Right. You see them contributing their services and providing other support towards the reconstruction and rehabilitation of some of these roads across the land of this country. These people who are also aiming and helping in that regard as young people. They are also giving opportunities for employment, and they're also giving space to be some part of the labor market of our country. So basically, if you look at youth development across, everyone we talk about the government, and for the first time, you see an avalanche of young people participation in terms of the national decision-making process of our country. That has not been that has not been solicited before in our country's history. So, but you know that young people were only good beyond Joseph Nima Bwaka and Ellie Johnson as mere protesters. Young people were only significant and important to two guns and to have a chaos and animosity in our country, dating to far back as the 14 years of civil unrest happened. We know how young people were used. There has been a fundamental turnaround about the energies of the young people, not just negative energy, but the potential energy of the young people into how it can be harnessed and be invested into positive activities in terms of like current dispensation. So there are more to talk about in terms of how young people today. You have good number of young people leave the country for scholarship, for example. Thousands of them are leaving and coming back to the country to serve and contribute their quota in different sectors of our government. And this is all credited to the vision of Excellency President George Manawia. So even in the private sector, like we said to you, young people are not doing businesses. See, today most of the stores, most of the shops, even I do agriculture. I mean, Assistant Minister for Regional Development Research and Extension and the Ministry of Agriculture, thousands of young people on the ritual project, the regional
Yes, go ahead.
the ritual project, which is the Regional Economic Transformation Agriculture Project under the Ministry of Agriculture, has been able to mobilize the potential of young men and women into the agriculture sector, not only providing macro rules for them through so-called matching grants, but there are other equipment that have been given to them to be able to expand the productive capacity in the private sector so that they contribute towards economic growth and development, and at the same time we get some level of economic benefits in terms of the profits and how they can contribute to some of these activities in the economy.
Okay.
So the young people in this country are doing well. We are not saying everything is
rosy.
It's rosy. Don't get me wrong. But if you ask for
Some significant improvements.
and steps, yes.
Okay.
We can point to that.
Okay. Let's Mr. Minister.
So we're at the point now where we are taking the economy and transforming the reforms of macroeconomic stability to the people. Serious-minded economic researchers have determined that Liberia's major strive to serious economic rebound in this country has got to do with binding constraints. And those two binding constraints are roads and electricity. Once you solve the problems of the roads and electricity in this country, the economy will begin to show semblance of rebound. Today, we need to understand that the lack of electricity affects economic activities and development in the country.
Okay.
But the improvements that we have made in ensuring that there has been an expansion of electricity and a spare of electricity to boost economic activities, we already have existing businesses that are experiencing benefits from stable electricity in the country. Example, those people who are sitting, the young people who opening barber shops, who are doing installation of ACs and all those kinds of stuff. Even at ELBC, I'm sure right now it is LEC power that's on, right? This is a major step that will ensure that there becomes a bound economy. The lack of electricity and stable electricity, for that matter, it basically affects the flow of investment in the economy. And once that happens, you see LEC moving expansion all into the different areas. The last time I was here with the MD of LEC, he talked lengthily about the activity. I'm not going to drag you and bore you into that.
Surely.
The governor of Liberia has been giving funding to LEC. The question is, do we continue to keep putting money into LEC? Way back 5, 6 years ago, 7, 8, 9 years ago, over the last 12 years, there has been serious resources put into the Liberia Electricity Corporation. The question is, do we still continue on that path? Or do we now take LEC in an environment where LEC will now be self-sustainable and become a situation where LEC now try to contribute to the national budget? We've done an assessment. We have realized that LEC will be a cash cow. Nobody in this country will want his electricity power to go off. He will buy. LEC is like putting scratch card on your phone, like having your phone and there's units. You want to get the internet, you want to get that service.
Sure.
You will plan for that. If you pay $5, you have to pay on a monthly basis or on a weekly basis. You do that. People will buy it. LEC will now become a cash cow. But the point is, when does that happen? Because way back, they were just putting money into LEC, just putting money into LEC, and nothing happening, nothing substantial happening. Today, we can see physical evidence of the expansion of electricity all in the country, battering with power theft, and all of these kinds of situations that may exist in an environment. We still have the situation. So we have gone on a speed of massive expansion of electricity in the country where electricity is available. This is what we're doing.
Now, I'll be opening the lines very shortly, but just two questions to you, Mr. Minister. First, let me ask, what is the secret? Because if my memory can serve me right, past administrations struggle with the issue of salary payment. What is the secret behind this administration being current? Because I haven't heard that the month ended and it took 2 or 3 months and civil servants didn't get their salaries. What's the secret behind that?
So we had a number of situations in Sabah. I explained to you the last time I was here on the challenges we face in the country. You need to understand. I hear people making all kinds of comments around the country. They are suggesting that we improve, we added people on the salary, on the payroll, we increase the payroll. You need to know, we met a payroll of 67,000 people. Now the payroll is around 70,000. 67, 70,000.
Just 3,000.
And then people are saying that we did payroll padding. Are you kidding me? We have a situation where the United Party took the payroll from about 28,000 people in 2009 to 68,000 people in 2017. Who did payroll padding? Who increased that burden? And of that payroll we're talking about, you need to understand, Sabah, that payroll we're talking about, they are not a full disclosure of a collapse of the government payroll. What do I mean? They have some people on special allowance, maybe about 25,000 of them on special allowance. And we have the regular 40 some motor, the differential between 67 and 25,000. That differential. You had that number of people on the actual civil service payroll. So these 68,000, 67,000 people, excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. Let me.
Yes, okay. You listen to the SMS rated on ELBC 29 and other frequencies across our dear and beloved country. This program is being carried by Mekat Live on its online platform, KMTV, Spoon TV, and other online across the entire country. Yes, Mr. Minister.
These 28,000 people, they took the payroll from 28,000 people in 2009 to 67,000 people in 2017. A wage bill rise up to 100 million. From 100 million straight to 290 million annually. The United Party wage system had no structure and was fundamentally unfair, as a matter of fact. One secretary in the United Party government was making $300, while another secretary who related to that particular minister made $1,500. You see the disparity?
Very huge.
President, we have destroyed that unfairness and brought salary within equitable range based on skill, experience, and qualification. This is what we did. This is the backing and the substantial amount of what we refer to as the harmonization. And today, I will wait for the courts. I will wait for the courts. Let one civil servant call and speak about the harmonization. And that way, in this case, I want us to be very fair. So I will ask them for the payroll number, ask them for the national identification number. We have the information, we'll tell you whether that person is a civil servant or not. Most of the people who call on the radio here, they are not civil servants. They talk into the matters of what they do not understand. They spew lies and gossips and make the public to believe that something has been fundamentally wrong about the system we have in place. So when they call, you have to challenge them because they have to have a standing to deal with this particular matter. For somebody to call and talk about civil servant, you got to be civil servant. You can't be civil. Somebody said that you're not working for government, you call and talk about civil servant matter. As a matter of fact, because you have not been directly affected by the claims you're making. And we are saying there's the strategies towards this thing. And interestingly, when these people were in power, they used to borrow money from the central bank to pay salary. We don't. The president in 2019, I think 2018, towards the end of 2018, announced that no more the government will borrow from the central bank. You remember that pronouncement, right? On the IMF program, we do not borrow from the central bank. We do sustainable borrowings, borrowing that do not carry our debt sustainability so high. As a matter of fact, it is important to understand that the CDC will raise salaries of 15,000 civil servants. We put 2,000 health workers on the payroll, and we added 2,850 volunteer teachers on the payroll. We increased salaries of 3,500 supplemental teachers from the UP who were making $50 per month. They now make $150 per month. And we ended that thing of a massive payroll where the payroll was managed, supplemental payroll was managed by some kind of minister who, because he's related to this particular person or he has a favor of this particular person, and then he, as a matter of fact, can just decide and put salaries. And nowadays, you don't just increase salaries. To increase salary, you have to talk to the Ministry of Finance, you have to talk to CSA, and you have to talk to the institution that is making that suggestion. And it has to be reviewed and scrutinized. And I can tell you, I who sit before you, I play a major role in the scrutinization or the scrutiny of that particular salary situation.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I know it, and I know it very well. President Weah has put more than 50 annual, 50 has put more than $50 annually in the pockets of Liberians through WAS. You don't pay money for WAS, you don't pay it. The government pays that fees, as a matter of fact. Through tuition fee policies, we have increased salaries, where united parties squander the same amount of opportunity annually. And then you sit here and say that they have come or they want to come to rescue. Let them come to the debate and challenge us on the veracity and the validity of these numbers as we're sitting here today.
So finally, before I open the lines, I'm sure you are from Wolokolie. Am I?
You're correct.
Okay, you are from Wolokolie.
Very correct.
And there are concerns, in fact, from that county, since the leaked audio came up concerning Senator Prince Johnson, in which he was indicating that they are supporting Boyka because Boyka is old, he can run this country, and Kun will eventually become the president then when Boyka is. So some of your kinsmen from Wolokolie are concerned about this statement, and they don't think that it's quite necessary to give that support to Boyka. In fact, I have one of them who will be conducting an interview with one of the elders in Wolokolie tomorrow at 7:40. Where do you stand on that?
So it is the same. You have the tip. I want you to play it. I want you to play it. I want for to contextualize something here so that you understand how troubling this is. Can you just play it?
Let's try to see what we can pull it out quickly. But in the meantime, you can be,
It is very troubling.
Trying to pull it out to see what we can get it quickly. To play that tape concerning Prince Johnson.
It is very, very troubling. We all know the history of Senator Johnson. We know his history of war days. We know what he's capable of doing. And we know his ability as far as militancy
is concerned
and rebel activities are concerned in this country. We know it. For Senator Johnson to mention publicly that he did a lot of work, sleepless nights he spent to ensure that the country will be run by Jeremiah Kun, Senator, and that President Baka, Vice President Baka, will, as a matter of fact, do nothing and will sit there because he's old, he's troubling. And that's the reason why we should not elect him. And we all know the influence Senator Johnson has on Senator Kun. It means indirectly that this country is going to be run by Senator Johnson. It means that we will have Vice President Baka, who will be sitting as President of the Republic of Liberia, God forbid, and the country will be run by a de facto president, Page Johnson. It's not, this thing is bigger than Jeremiah Kuhn. It's serious. And Liberians should decry this situation. This is troubling, and the international community needs to pay some attention to this.
Okay, let me see what I pull it out. Let's see what my producer did that. So let's listen.
Listen to that.
I want you to be careful. We are fighting for Nima County to take the lead, and Nima will win in the name of Jesus. Basa with us, Bakoli with us, Bomi with us, Lofa with us, Hong County with us. What is your problem? Then you on the radio on me. Hey, my brother, what I do? All right. You gotta change. Because you alone, your boss cannot cover the whole Berege. We're fighting for you. He calls our mama. Nimba will win at the old battle park. I will make up to a cocarosi. Hey, Kwaze, you boom, and we did it. We are fighting for you. We're begging you people. If you make the man disgrace, it will be good for you. When you turn to the man against our prayer for you to produce vice president, the owner is old. It takes Kun to be vice president. When we win, they're not going to be doing the job for you. Can you go everywhere? No. The owner is old. It takes Kun to be vice president. When we win, they're not going to be doing the job for you.
Okay, I'm sure you heard it now.
The United Party is us for serious desperation. We are so desperate. First of all, it speaks to a lot of things. It speaks to the fact that Vice President Baka is absent in his own environment. Absent. And that absence accounts for substance loss and essence required. What do I mean by that? It shows that the former vice president, is indecisive. First of all, Senator Johnson is speaking to the health of the vice president, his own self. Senator Johnson talks about his health of the vice president, that the vice president is old and sick. He's not well. So he's going to be almost like somebody sitting in an environment and the country is being run. And not just run, but run by Senator Page Johnson. We know his history. Liberia should wake up. This is a serious call. Even if we tire, man. So are you telling me that Senator Johnson has even confessed that he fought Senator Yombi Kanga Lawrence to ensure that she didn't get on the ticket? He's revealing these things. Nobody pushing to talking. He's talking to himself. This is self-destructive. Today, if we're in a serious environment, which I know our environment will become conscious and serious, it places obligations on us to conscientize the masses of our people, so that you understand that we should not allow ourselves in this country to be plunged into the doom war. To elect Vice President Baka is electing Prince Johnson as President of the Republic of Liberia. And this is a serious matter. These recordings should be played on these radio stations everywhere we go. Everywhere. Including Nima County. Even some Liberians are not happy about this comment. It is exposing the people of Nima County. And you see, that God. This is the doing of God.
Okay. Yes, let me get your take on this and then we'll open the lines quickly. Yes, Mr. Wusa.
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, so again, Sobo, you listen to the grand conspiracy of the political despot and desperado in Prince Johnson. Like we said to you, those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make attempt to make violent revolution possible. We can trace the record of Prince Johnson. And like I said to Baka will not hold us responsible if anything does happen to him. Because those who sought power on the back of a tiger will end in the bed of the tiger. We said that to you. That when you surround yourself with dangerous mafias, Prince Johnson is the last mafia on the continent. I mean, Thomas Sankara compared, Bureau member to Thomas Sankara, of Bureau member, revolutionary Thomas Sankara. we are saying to you, and we are calling on the people of Nima County, the conscious people, the hospitable people, the peace and loving people of Nima County, to distance themselves. They are listening as I speak to you. The people are not happy with the comment Prince Johnson is making. Nima County is not a political party. You cannot be so tribalistic here when we are discussing about consolidating the peace and stability of our country. If you have not worked for 18 years to secure the confidence of the masses of the people in Nima County, you cannot use, trying to jeopardize the peace and security of our country. So the threat on the life, somebody said, what concerns the CDC? We are concerned about the threat on the life of the former vice president of the country. Because come October 10, when President Williams have been re-elected, we are asking that the former vice president will be in attendance of the inaugural ceremony. So for President Johnson to say on the public radio, don't forget, he was publicly seen before. You know what happened? Anytime it comes around presidency, you know what happens. We don't want to go back to the 1980s.
Okay.
So we're saying to you that the Unity Party has to be very careful. Okay. The Unity Party is being hijacked by a
let's want to open the lines quickly.
There are even claims.
Yes. Okay. Just hold the line. A few minutes. Okay. Yes. No. Go ahead. She off the line.
There are even claims that it is alleged that Senator Johnson is on a plot to get rid of Vice President Baka soon as he becomes president of the country and take over this country.
Can you imagine that?
Yes.
Let's take a few calls quickly. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Samora. How are you?
I'm okay, sir. Your name quickly and where are you calling from?
My name is Wolokolie. I'm calling from Fender.
Let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to the studio again, Mr. Samora. We say thank you very much to Atty. You know, why we're trying to say we support their idea and we're standing by to vote George. You know what? I don't want Mr. Samora to repeat that word where he said, how much person were added on the payroll when CDC took over? Because when you know the party, they came to fly out the payroll. They fly out the payroll. So we want, is that total? He should call that total back. Let that when people hear how much person were added, and how much person were on the payroll, and how much person were there before. Because they are passing around with fake information that CDC follow the payroll, and then we tell them that CDC were not coming to cut down their $1 million salary they were putting in their pocket today. That was gone. Upside down, but we thank you, and we stand by. It's one stand for George Money. We are thank you very much.
Many thanks. Let me take this other caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what? Thank you. Emmanuel calling from Kingsway.
Let's hear from you.
Let me say thank you to your studio gathering. I think they are selling low. So what Thursday? I think ELBC genetically way hard. Thursday we're working from point to point. We go to 8 years, so it will not be a small thing. So I just want to encourage all citizens to get prepared. Your Thursday, it's going to be a small day.
Okay. Many thanks. Let's try to take this call quickly. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to our studio guests.
Okay.
My name is David Galago-Wisha, and I'm phoning from the CDC headquarters on the Bagube Avenue into community. You know, when this Unity Party-led government took over this country, the west side and down side, the civil servants are working then. And they did not stop there. They went and increased, like our studio guests intimated, they increased the payroll. Today, President George Maliwia did not west side or down side, but he added few number of persons, and he did not just stop there, but he also went and stabilized payroll that everybody who are in different ministry and agencies take equal pay as per their positions. And lastly, people should not take the statement of Senator Johnson lightly. What Senator Johnson is saying is something that has been planned, it's something that has been calculated. So any attempt for us to get this country to Unity Party, it means that Senator Johnson will be the de facto president of this country. Thank you for affording me the opportunity.
Many thanks as well. Let me take this other call on this line. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sabbath George.
Good morning, ma.
So, it was Minister. Good morning to having me there. I call him my name person, and I call it my inhabitants. I don't remember including.
Yes, go ahead.
Minister put a challenge when he was on the show, that's the afternoon show. And so the opposition has gone to judge of the fast checking. And today, in the Samora Wolokolie is putting a target on the state radio. You guys know that when you say the people is lying, and you put out the challenge that she needs to go with them to prove them wrong. And then I'll never say, I'm here for Nima County. All these things to the senator, but that's the blood guy against it. But according to Ali said that it means nothing. So they don't even value the man who is sustainable, but they only want to extend the power. So I hope those people that can go to the ballot back and make decisions, they should be looking at the consequences that they take out the people that don't have good motives to work the country for the work that individual. So
okay. Many thanks. Let me take this other caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Sobo, and good morning to Samora. Good morning to Atty. My name is Cooper Passaway, and I closely followed the conversation this morning from district number 11. Let me pose the question to Samora Wolokolie, who is on the campaign team of CDC, because we have a document of possession that suggests that CDC is using $50 million for campaign. As member of the campaign team, CEO official, can you tell the public the total budget of CDC campaign team? Thank you. Most of that, at this time, the public, the total amount of job we have presented or gave since it took over 2018 to present. Thank you.
Okay, he wants you to remain on the line. Hello? He's off the line.
You go. No, I'm taking notes.
Okay, just take notes so you can respond to that. Let me take this caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mama.
Yeah, thank you so much. The name is Ambassador Dintowan Domaksebe. I will introduce myself as a daughter of Nema, but I'm also the chairperson of the National Commission on Disability.
Okay.
I want to say a very big thank you to Honorable Wolokolie and for Atty for the presentation as it relates to the level of impact and the level of what the government has done when it comes to the economic sector. My concern is very due to the statement by Senator Johnson. And that statement, again, my name is Dintowan. I come from Glaze of Women. No? I shared this on the radio when Nima for we are visited the room of Senator Johnson when we were ineffective towards in Nima. And when I came on the radio, I said it. Our people from Nima said to me I was divided and that we were not saying the truth until today the evidence is out. That was the first thing they told our people in our dialect. And one of the reasons they are campaigning Mano and Gio and not in English is because of the negative information they are giving. So when we got to Nyautia play, the people started telling us, but you don't want the presidency. The man is saying that we are about to ascend to the presidency. So how y'all will say we will not vote the man when we need to go? So our presidency cannot be tied to somebody's life. If something happened tomorrow, they will say Nima people kill Mr. Blanca. So all we would do is let's give the president his second term. If Nimbaya wants to go to the presidency, we'll register a candidate for the presidency, and then we'll be able to campaign by lobbying with the county and see, or if we support the president, we can tell the president 2029, we want you to work along with our country so that some of our sons and daughters can attend, and not that. So this is the reason why all of the auxiliaries in Nima and all of the team we are working with, we've been going through the 782 towns of Nima to tell our people this is wrong, this is devilish, this is negative, and we don't support it. Thank you, and thank you so much.
Many thanks. Good morning. I'll take the 3 or 4 more calls and I'll wrap it up. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yeah, for all who follow the there is a saying that job where we use a local route to get to the southeast. So we want for our people that in the studio there to also debunk that statement, because as we listen to someone that job we not use the country sharp, or rather we use Africa to get to the southeast so that they can want to kill that on the media. God bless.
Many thanks. I'll take another one quickly. Good morning. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Sabaja.
Yes, Mama.
Good morning, Sabaja.
Yes, Mama.
Good morning, Sabaja.
Yes, good morning. Go right ahead.
Yeah, Sabaja, there's now original door, the president for chicken soup factory.
Okay.
Yeah, Sabaja, first of all, I want to tell you thank you. I want to tell our senior thank you. You see, Sabaja, those people, they are confused. They don't have any
Okay, it's okay. Let's leave it at that. Let me take this call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, okay. Let me say thank you to your studio guests.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So I'm Dennis G. We are calling from Peace Island, a proud son of Maryland County. I work with the National Identification Registry. Sometime 2018, I was assigned in PNC to enroll the entire government employees there. I received a payroll of 1,500 employees. Guess what? I was only able to enroll 600 of our 1,500 employees that were on the payroll. And that payroll was inherited by this government. Where the balance came up these, all of those numbers were ghosts. I then moved to internal affairs. Could you imagine someone a guy saw a name on the payroll and began to cry? And when I asked him, he said, "You see the name here? This man is sitting in America 2 years ago, but he received $5,000 every month." So if this government did well to scrutinize the payroll, why can we not understand these things that this government means well for the people? And Alvin, you are my boy. You know me. We eat kobo together. So yes, way back there in Plebo. So thank you people very much.
Okay.
Which are the facts.
Okay, many thanks. Let me take this last caller. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, hello.
Good morning. Yes, let me say good morning to Samora Wolokolie and Atty Wizard. And this is the voice of Lawrence Spear and the Pastor of Operation Christian and Youth. Thank you guys so much. And let's try to understand that the citizens not answerable to anybody as member of the.
Oh, he's over the line. Okay, so let's leave that quickly. Let me see what I can squeeze this one in. Okay, so let's leave that quickly and go back to. Let me take this one. This last caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning, Samora.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Samora, my name is Ishmael Kamara. I call you this morning as member of the conscious minded class of the Republic of Liberia. Samora, this morning, let me say bravo to the ministers of the studio, Honorable Minister Atty and all of Samora Wolokolie. One thing I want to say this morning, Samora, is that they have done it well this morning against the council to speak to the media on the number of achievements that have been made under this administration for the last 5 years. And one thing I also like to say is that we should always be able to come out front to speak to our people on the number of issues that we are involved with for the last year.
Okay.
And we're elected to be able to do what they are what they want to see. And so let me speak quickly before I drop the line to the issue that has to do with Ombudsman Johnson. Ombudsman Johnson actually is one person who has become trouble for the last years in government. All of the things, regarding Zimba, and he failed to understand that Zimba County alone cannot produce president. And besides, we have to consolidate our efforts to be able to build this nation. For the last 14 years, we suffer setback because of the issue of tribalism.
Okay.
On the contrary, Ombudsman Johnson have come to power on the at the detriment of the very same people, and at the same time, instead of preaching peace messages, they are always come preaching policy that is divisive and tribal or sentimental. So please, we want to win this hour. We are putting our electionary process this time, and we want to see that moving forward so that we can be able to live our life in peace.
Okay.
So please preach messages and so we can move forward. Thank you for having me this morning.
Many thanks. Let me go back to my two studio guests to respond to some of those concerns, and I'll wrap it up with them. Mr. Minister, Arvin?
Yeah, I mean, you listen to the call of Sobo, and you have heard a lot of commendations from the callers. All we want to say to you, I listened to one of the boys from the Unity Party trying to question the CDC's campaign activities across. I think it is a diversionary tactic. We have said to you over and over that your secret Russian agents that you brought in the country has told the Unity Party that the CDC is in charge in terms of the current statistics from the voter perception index survey conducted as far as the record as concerned that the CDC is going to win these elections on the first ballot. The next thing is the CDC, when it comes to raw commitment and support base across the land of this country, has never used money for politics. The party has been supported on dollar rally. The electrifying enthusiasm and momentum from the partisans from 2004 to 2017, now to 2023, it tells you that our partisans, our support base is organic, is authentic, and that's why we're the biggest revolutionary independence grassroots movement across the land of this country. Today, you can see the wave of young people, including first-time voters championing their own destiny. They are the authentic carriers of their own democratic rights, in particular reference to the free work payment and free education across the land of this country. So the issue about this diversionary tactic is not going to work. The unity parties must now increase the security. And that's what we are saying to you. You must now increase the security that your standard bearer, there is a threat on his life by President Johnson, and we are concerned about that. And the reason why the CDC is concerned is because we want for president, the former vice president, to attend. Yes, and we are key on that. The CDC is fundamentally key on the security of the former vice president, as much as he will be retired come October 10 this year. Equally so, we want to see him in attendance. And quickly, we are also saying to the people of Nima County that President Johnson is cleverly trying to use the war politics, the war drum, to reflect you on the days of the 1980s. That is the only way he can survive in the political sphere of our political using classes. So we are calling the Lions to distance themselves, and that is an ill representation of the people of Nima County. Is divisive and is intended to fill his failed senatorial base in Nima County. I think by doing so, that Nima County will produce a president is to rally the base and excite the conscience of the people, but the people are too smart this time around. That's why Golden Blue, our speaker, is a former senator. So he thinks that he can use political rhetoric and the world politics.
Okay. So we'll leave it at that. You spoke already. Let's hear from Mr. Minister quickly.
Yes. Thank you, Sabo. The quarter asks me to repeat that number about where the payroll was met and where. So in 2009, Unity Party moved the payroll from 28,000 to 67,000 people in 2017. We met the payroll at 67,000, and now the payroll stands at 70,000. That increment on the payroll accounts for only 3,000 persons on the payroll. So that's the information about the payroll, and don't let nobody deceive you about it. The information is factual, it's verifiable.
Okay.
The second one has to do with a quarter of Cooper passed away. He mentioned a 50 million budget in his possession. Cooper should know that the information that is in his possession came from Stanton Waterspoon. You want us to trust it? We know Stanton. We know what is going on. So the credibility of that information is in question, right? So nobody should take it seriously. Except you take Stanton seriously, then you can take that something in your hands seriously.
No.
He also asked about what is the budget of the CDC, because he claimed that. So that thing about 50 million is a trash. If we have 50 million, we'll complete RIA rule. That will be a campaign for all by ourselves. We'll complete the RIA rule, and you'll see major progression work done there. Even if you have all of the money for the project, the RIA rule is projected to finish in 3 years. We're going almost a year with the project. So if you have the bulk of the money sitting here today, the rule will still not be completed.
Sure.
But of course, we will use that as a source of the funding to do the road. Why do we put that kind of money and put it on campaign? We're looking at around $3 to $4 million. If the budget gets recast, we might hit our budget around $5 million. And that money is going to be generated by the masses of our people. We have the history of raising funds. We raised dollar. We took a dollar rally campaign in this country. We raised funds and we built party headquarters all across the country. The CDC is represented in all of the 15 counties in Liberia. So we will raise money, and we have been raising money for our political party on our own merits.
Okay.
So we don't need to do those things. So those are all propaganda. We understand that propaganda mission very well. He asked about jobs. Just before me, we're talking about all the listing of the investment incentives or investment opportunities that we had in terms of signing of the new investment. I just summed a few of them, around 5,000 258. And there are more to that. There are other things that have not been listed. We'll catalog them and we'll give you, this is the debate. We'll catalog them. We'll give you a full information on all the jobs that have been created by the CDC government.
Okay.
And we'll match that job. We'll go back to check your record. We don't even know where you have some, but we'll check and see how much jobs have been created by how many jobs were created by the Unity Party.
Okay.
I expect attacks. I expect verbal attacks. I expect all kinds of attacks, from the Unity Party. I understand that very well. And they know me. I'm prepared for it. So as a matter of fact, we will take the debate to the doorsteps. They need to understand. And what the Unity Party basically is doing, they're doing the last kick of a dying house. They're going to lose the elections. President Baka is unfit to lead this country. He has demonstrated that. We see him being flown out. What they did, and I can say this, if anything happens to my uncle, I will hold Mo Ali, Martin Colley, Miata Famule, what the other person name? The chairman of the Unity Party, Ludo Tappe, will hold all of them responsible because family members are complaining now about the way they are overstressing the vice president. You realize that just the other day before the vice president was caught at the IRA airport running away, soon money to go for medical treatment. We saw that 3 days before them, they had the old man in the ring, and they know that he's not supposed to go into the ring. They know that they know very well that based on the different reports that have come, they know, and they know we know he is not supposed to go into the ring. He's not supposed to be beaten by ring. I'm not saying he can't take bath because he will go to the bathroom. And so I'm talking about rain. There's a difference between the water that comes from the heavens and touches on you, and that of what you even the bath doesn't take bath with cold water. It uses lukewarm water, and you have to heat the water to take bath. So you don't put the old man under the ring. They know that he's not supposed to go under the ring. They know that certain gadgets are not supposed to be around him. Somebody who carries a pacemaker, read about pacemaker. And then we said, we're in sympathy with the health of the vice president, right? And there's no reason for people to lie about the vice president's illness. President Buhari was president of Nigeria. Every time he was sick, he announced to the Nigerian people that he's going for treatment. Why should Vice President Baka be running away to go for treatment and hiding about his illness? When illness is like pregnancy, you will see it when it's happening. So people should stop. When they continue to do these things, then it shows that all the revealing plots that's happening across the country is just becoming revealing. That the statement from Senator Prince Johnson about the vice president, the actions of Mo Ali and others to take the old man and put him under the ring and get right after the old man campaign, 3 days he got sick. He had to run, go back. He has come back again. Yesterday I heard to put him outside again. They need to stop it. You need to stop it. So the vice president has announced that he is not going to go to the county. He's not going to Lufa. He said that. And he's not saying that, we understand the rules are bad. He used to go Lufa and I've seen very bad rules. The reason why he's not going to Lufa is because he has done nothing serious in Lufa. And the Lufa people are getting to realize now that they are matching and reaching and trying to match tradition with development.
Okay.
And they believe that development takes precedence. And as a matter of fact, tradition is not clustered on one person's head. Everybody who is a kissy man is our uncle. Whether you old or you young, you are our uncle.
So that your uncle.
So I pity. I have a serious concern because family members have been reaching out. They are not able to talk these things because these guys have come on the old man in a way that it becomes difficult for them to say certain things.
Okay.
We'll come back here. We'll reveal certain things.
Okay.
We were the one who revealed that Prince Johnson, senator, is in a plot to get rid of Vice President Baka to take over this country as president if Vice President Joseph Baka wins the elections. This is information that we gathered and we revealed it. When we revealed it, Intel Lonta, Prince Johnson recording came out. And it just solidified our revelations. Liberian people should take this thing very seriously. There's nothing to joke with. This is no politics. It is serious, and we must take serious concern about these things. Somebody raised the issue lastly about the president is not going to go into campaign. Who is campaigning for the president during we are in the country? He's going to go to every nooks and corner of the country. He will enter every district. He will enter every county and he will go to every county to campaign. So don't be deceived. President Weah is on a trail. He can get under the ring. He plays foot soccer in the ring. So we are afraid of ring. He doesn't have a pacemaker. He's moving in an environment where he's going to campaign vigorously and inform the people and interact with the broad-based masses of the people. This country will be crisscrossed on the campaign trail. We're very clear about that.
Okay.
Somebody talk about double dipping on the parallel shoe. Somebody read the GSC report on the harmonization. You will see that employees, a number of ghosts were taken out of the payroll. There are a number of irregularities which the GSC raised, and we as the Ministry of Finance are taking very serious concern about this thing. We're going to take drastic actions to perpetrators that we have been identified as doing this thing. For example, somebody new on the payroll, they need somebody Josh. Then they put a mobile money number that belongs to Matthew Ta. You get what I'm saying? Sorry, I will call my own people. Matthew Two. Let me say two. Yeah. So the mobile money number does not match Sober George. Even though Sober George is on the payroll, it goes to somebody else's account. People open bank accounts in the country where monies have been going to the account over the years and no accountability of that. We're going to go after all these things. All these things will help to erase fraud, waste, and abuse that exists with our payroll. We take ownership of them and we will take actions, drastic actions as they need be.
Mr. Minister, thank you very much. He's Deputy Minister for Finance. He also Anthony Alor, Dr. Samora Wolokolie. Also, you heard Arvin is the Vice Chair for Operations of the youth wing of the ruling coalition. Arvin, thank you also for coming. Okay. So what is just I will go home on this presentation of this Super Money Show. Thanks to my indefatigable, my illustrious and hardworking producer, Melvin Stewart. Damawa for fun was